the president can get up here and get to the White House, then I don't understand why we can't get Abrago up out of there. I mean, we know that they admitted that they were wrong. Now they're trying to double back and say, well, he's this terrible person and all this kind of stuff. But here's the reality. As far as I'm concerned, he's a lot less criminal than the person that's sitting in the White House. Because last time I checked, he doesn't have any criminal convictions. I don't even think he has any outstanding cases versus the guy that still had cases pending when he was sworn in on January 20th and also has 34 felony convictions. So listen, I don't want to hear anything from the Republican Party about how they're trying to keep us safe when their fearless leader is actually the biggest criminal thus far that we have seen, because I haven't seen anybody with a rap sheet that looks like the president's.
El Salvador's self-proclaimed coolest dictator said that he was not going to return Kilmar Abrago Garcia. This is after the Trump administration admitted to a clerical error. They have a lot of those, by the way, sending him over there when he was not supposed to be sent over there anyway. There was a court order set in 2019 that said that Garcia was not supposed to be sent over there. Trump and his ice cream men knew that, and they did it anyway. Why? To test to see if they could. Well, district court judge said, no, you can't. They took it up to their lackeys in the Supreme Court, and a 9-0 said, go get him. And they haven't done that. They haven't done it. They say there's nothing they can do, and they can't bring him back. Meanwhile, they are paying millions and millions of taxpayer funds, your money and my money, to keep and house these people in prison. Now, answer me this, guys, for the people who are cheering this on. First of all, you are mad at waste, fraud, and abuse, and you think that millions of dollars are being spent for things that shouldn't be spent. Yet, you say absolutely nothing about the millions and millions of dollars that are going into paying ice cream men to kidnap these people, flying them over there. The fuel costs and the planes and all this other stuff is costing us millions. And then we are paying millions to the El Salvadorian dictator to keep them in camps. But you care about waste, fraud, and abuse, huh? You care about millions of, where is my money going? That's where it's going. You'd much rather it go to that than healthcare? You'd much rather take health care from sick people, take veterans care from veterans, take food from children, and put that money into putting people in 1930 style camps. That's what you're arguing for? Not to mention the millions of dollars that your president is using to go golfing every single weekend on your dime, my dime. You don't say nothing about that million. That million is not, those millions are not waste, fraud, and abuse. The millions spent in this deportation effort, the millions lost in food and distribution, that you don't care about. But you do care about that federal worker's job, though. I'm sorry, they can't get paid their $20 an hour. We need to deport people. We also need to put $6 billion into the almost $1 trillion defense budget, accounting for the fact that the Pentagon has failed almost all of its recent audits. Like 9, I think? 9 audits? Everybody else made their audits. But the Pentagon gets more money even though it failed its audits. Now, granted, some really unintelligent person said that they wanted to make the Pentagon a trigon? You mean a triangle? Anyway, so they do want to now cut the budget for the Pentagon, but that was literally right after they gave the Pentagon $6 billion more in this past continuing resolution. So, what are they doing? Can they decide what they're doing? It is nothing but chaos over there. I'm sorry, this is a rant. So you don't care about waste, fraud, and abuse. That was just an excuse to other people. It was just an excuse because you thought black and brown people actually benefited from those benefits a lot more than white people, and that is not the case, you're finding out. For the people who are cheering this on, saying that we're saving a lot of money, that is not what's happening. And the sad part is they are actually deporting less people than Joe Biden did in a way more inhumane and illegal way that is going to cause a constitutional crisis and maybe articles of impeachment that might stick. Because with him defying the Supreme Court, I don't think the Supreme Court is going to take too kindly for that, which is why, without being prompted, they told him to stop deporting people, period, until further notice, until they tell the Trump administration that they can resume. The Supreme Court is actually starting to get a little upset. The only two who dissented from that, of course, is Roberts and Thomas. Trump is skating on thin ice. And for the people who say that they care about where their money is going, millions and millions and millions of dollars are going into this. Are we winning yet?